The first signings have been made by our director of football, and we kicked off our brand new season with a 3-0 loss to Chelsea. So there's work to be done on the training ground as well as in the transfer market. But today, the transfer window slams shut. Dun, dun, dun. Hello and welcome back to the Southampton DOF Youth Only Challenge, episode number 2 today. And if we jump into the save, episode 1 was a little bit up and down, wasn't it? We started by making some signings. Well, I say we made some signings. Our director of football, Gary Megson, made some signings. Some of them good, some of them was Sam Allardyce, which did raise some nice comments from you guys, especially this one, look, which seems like I'm kind of on board with this theory that maybe Gary Megson was actually trying to recruit Sam Allardyce, the manager, as his director of football, and bottled that as well. But do you know what? I think the other signings we made in Hitcham, Boudaoui and Chekdikore are quite good. I asked for midfielders and we've signed some midfielders. We've now got lots of midfielders, not necessarily any attacking ones though. So maybe there is some work to do in the training ground or on the training ground tactically, because we did also start our season, didn't we? And well, it didn't start very well. We lost 3-0 to Chelsea away from home, and we did talk about how this isn't really a fixture where we're looking to get a result, and maybe it's not our business at the moment. But I suppose some of the performances were a bit worrying. Shea Adams 6.0, James Prowse-Ward with a 6.1 here. It's not really what you're looking for, is it? We were completely dominated by Chelsea, but we've got other fixtures on the horizon. Wolves, Charlton in the Carabao Cup, and Aston Villa will all be in today's episode, because the order of today is to go all the way up through these 3 games up until deadline day, and we're going to go and play deadline day live together to see what Gary Megson does. Does he bring in any more players? I kind of hope he does, because after a 3-0 loss on the opening day, there is work to be done, isn't there? Before we do jump through to deadline day in today's episode, then a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying this save so far. Thank you for all of the kind comments and feedback and likes and everything on the first episode. Very nice to see. Thank you for that. If you are enjoying it, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. And also, if you want to play this save, I've uploaded the original save file to my Patreon, which you can, there's loads of other things uploaded to that as well. There is a link to that in the description down below. You also do get your name in the end of the video as well, and I really do appreciate people's support over on Patreon too. Let's go to deadline day. And here we are then. The date is the 31st of August, and therefore that means it is deadline day. Dun, dun, dun. I feel like we should actually go very Jim White here. Should we make this? That should be, yeah, that's better. Now I'm feeling very deadline day. We have, of course, well, I hope so anyway, got some business still to do. If I show you, we have got £4.79 million to spend and 8k in wage budget to go and spend as well. It's not very much, but I am hoping that Gary does maybe some sales and then maybe bring some players in as well. Look, we have also made a new signing, but before we talk about the new signing that Gary Megson has gone and made as our director of football, I want to show you the results and how we've got on in those 3 games that I mentioned before. And here are those results. We have done fantastically. We've actually bounced back massively from the Chelsea defeat, which we did wonder, was that just because Chelsea are too good, or were we actually really poor? I'm hoping that it's just because Chelsea were really good in that game, because since then we have played Wolves at home, a game that I really did want to bounce back in. I wanted to get a good result here. You see the team that I played, it was Shea Adams and Broha starting for the first time. Of course, he couldn't play against Chelsea, could he? The midfield of Ward-Prowse, Boudaoui and Armstrong with Romeo behind them. This was much more like it. In fact, we scored inside the first minute through Shea Adams, a Stuart Armstrong assist. We'll watch that goal now. Here it is. Look, in the midfield, ball over the top from Stuart Armstrong. Shea Adams right on the edge of offside. He was onside though. You see him running away with his arm in the air. 1-0 to us. It wasn't great, though, that Trincao did equalise almost immediately. Like, literally, look, inside the first 2 minutes, just past the first minute mark, they went up the other end and equalised across where, I mean, Forster just flaps at it and lets it in there. So that was 1-1. But after that, though, it was all us. Look at those stats there. 23 shots to their 7. We were dominant. It was Jan Bednarek, the first set-piece goal that we're going to see. James Ward-Prowse whipping it in. Bednarek near post, heads it in, bullet header. That made it 2-1. And then we finished it all off with a lovely Armando Broha. First time we've played him. I think it's actually his debut, because this is back at the start of the season. Walker-Peters down the left. Broha with his head nodding it in past the keeper, Jose Sarr. 3-1 to us. A dominant win to bounce back from that Chelsea defeat, and that is much more like it. We then Did back it up once again with another win. This was against Charlton. They are, of course, lower league opposition, but we still wanted to win the game. So I went with a strong team. I did play Diallo in that midfield spot instead. I'm moving out. I'm trying to work out actually what is our best midfield here. Badawi has played now in the middle. He's now played to the left. I've played Stuart Armstrong. I've played Czech Doucouré in there too. Trying to work out what the best one is. I think the two mainstays are definitely going to be James Ward-Prowse on this right-hand side and Romeo in behind. And then maybe the other ones are going to rotate a little bit. In this game, it was Diallo and Badawi. We went 1-0 up through Shea Adams in the 6th minute. Salisu picks it up at the back. Walker-Peters drives into the space, into the opposition half. Through ball almost to Shea Adams with a nice finish. As I mentioned, Shea Adams is going to score goals for us this season. He's really good on FM. In fact, in my Hertha Brazil save, he went to Manchester City for £65 million, which is madness, isn't it? But maybe we can kind of harness a bit of that power in this save. Scoring the opener there, it was then Boudaoui with his first goal for the club, the new signing in the summer. Gary Megson, maybe he can spot a player, you know. Lovely bit of football from us. Through balls all the way through. Boudaoui with a nice little slide rule finish past the keeper. That was 2-0, and at this stage we were cruising, but Charlton had other ideas. Familiar Castilla, I think his name is, with the goal back to make it 2-1. Gunter crosses to Castillo with a nice little arrowed finish. I mean, was there a deflection? I'm not sure. Fraser Forster doesn't really cover himself in glory there though, but that was 2-1. We then made it 3-1 after that. Another set piece. Ward-Prowse, Jack Stevens with a header, who played at centre-back in this game. And then they made it 3-2 right towards at the end with Gilby in the 87th minute. But we got the win, and getting the win was enough here. We just wanted to go through to the next round, didn't we? There's the Gilby finish. Again, nice little finish from him. 3-2 win in the Carabao Cup. And then the final game was a bit of a corker, really. A 4-3 win against Aston Villa, where, I mean, it's away from home. I think our home form is going to carry us this season. We're maybe looking, to be honest, I'm being optimistic. I think mid-table, that'd be nice with some young signings. I've seen a few people in the comments worried about relegation. Would mid-table be okay? I think it probably would. We won this one 4-3. Again, we got an early goal. Kyle Walker-Peters in the 2nd minute to make it 1-0. I'm not sure we deserved to win this game. It was very... I mean, I think Villa had a lot of chances, but it was Kyle Walker-Peters with the opening goal in the 2nd minute. Another early goal from us in our lovely black kit look. Badawi into Livramento, Romeo into Walker-Peters, and then he just does this, a pile driver into the back of the net. 1-0 early on, and we thought, great, wonderful start. Villa, though, again, had other ideas. Leon Bailey with the equaliser in the 12th minute. I'll show you that one as well. Digne down the left-hand side. Leon Bailey was in the box there, and the cross came to him. Back post header. They're really, really effective in FM22. He beats... I don't know how he's won the header there, Leon Bailey. He's not particularly good in the air, but good header from him. Then Shea Adams again. I said he's going to score goals. He's scoring goals so far. Broha and him interlinking a little bit. Through ball from Romeo. Shea Adams round the keeper to make it 2-1. There were plenty more goals in this one, though. After Shea Adams scores that one, we had another goal from the other striker, Broha. Both of those two. I'm quite happy with them as a strike force, as I'm sure I've mentioned. Nice little dink finish from Broha there. That was that 3-1 in there. After that, we had a goal from Villa, which was John McGinn in the 52nd minute. Set piece, Buendia crosses, headed away. Bailey recycles it, look, brings it back into McGinn again. Another really nice goal. I mean, it kind of goes down the middle of the goal there, doesn't it? But Forster couldn't keep it out. That was 3-2. Then it was 4-2. Stuart Armstrong taking a penalty. Nice finish from the penalty from him. And then they made it 4-3 in the 67th minute. Matty Cash turning, finding a pass eventually to John McGinn, who gives it to Chambers. I think eventually they work this into the box from here, look, to make it 4-3. But then nothing happened after that. Buendia, I did try and shut up shop a little bit after that. Buendia, good finish. And we did manage to ride it out. A 4-3 win, despite all of Villa's attacks there. 21 shots. They only had 8 on target, I suppose. We did have the better XG. We did have 12 shots on target. So maybe we did deserve it. Maybe I'm being harsh on us there. A good performance. And that brings us up to date. And it does mean that we are 7th in the Premier League at this stage. 6 points from our opening 3 games. Do you know what? I would take that, considering it was Chelsea, the game that we lost. We've got games coming up, though, against Arsenal. Norwich, you'd expect to win. Peterborough in the Carabao Cup. We've drawn them as the next round. Burnley. There are definitely some winnable games coming up here. But as well as playing some games, there's also been some more transfer business. Let's go across and have a look at who Gary Megson has brought into the club. And if we sort that by date, 3 signings since last time. Kutsamuka, actually, that one was already going through. That's been made, that's gone through now. He's brought in Kai Sanders, Colonel's son, who is a very poor youth player, 6'5". Maybe that's what Gary Megson is going for there. And also Joel Idaho has been brought to the club. He is a Dutch youngster. I'm not really sure where the potential is on him. He's also not got a work permit, but Gary still did this transfer, which, I mean, baffling a little bit. But he has done some actual business, one that I am actually pleased with. Mohamed Kudus from Ajax for £6.5 million. Now, this is a player who I think has got a load of potential. 21-year-old Ghanaian, another centre mid, really, but one that's actually got a little bit more attacking flair. Left-footed. I think playing him as maybe a Metzala, maybe the advanced playmaker on this left-hand side, could actually be a real option for us, and I think he's going to develop too. This is a signing that I'm actually really happy about. Mohamed Kudus, welcome to Southampton. If I show you what I mean by that, maybe him coming in instead of Armstrong here. This is not confirmed, by the way, but maybe him in here, I think would be a nice option. We've got loads of midfielders now with a good strike force. Do you know what? On deadline day today, Gary, if you want to bring in a defender, just to bolster us there a little bit, I'm not too upset with this team. I think we can do bits with this Southampton team. That brings us up to date. One last thing to mention, we also did receive £2 million from the Højbjerg sale a couple of years ago. He's played a certain number of games for Spurs now, so a nice £2 million extra on that. And today, we're going to go into deadline day, where I'm going to say we're going to take part. As I've clicked that, actually, just to show you, there are some rumours going about. I mentioned some player sales. Nathan Redmond is continuing to be linked with Arsenal. 24 to 27 million pounds is his sale price, which would be very nice. It would mean that Gary could go and sign players if it would happen. Also, Stuart Armstrong is attracting interest from Wolves for about 30 million pounds. El Yunusu, who's not really in my plans at all, is also attracting interest from Watford. We're really looking at sales for this deadline day. I'd really like some to go through. So what I'm going to go and do is play through a little bit and bring you up to date on what's happening. Let's go. Okay, actually, on the first continue here, we have had some bids in. I did speak to the press as well about El Yunusi and said I'd be surprised if a deal wasn't done before the deadline. And we have had some bids for him. Loads of them, in fact, where one of them has been accepted from Norwich for £8 million. Gary has accepted that one, which I'm very happy. Also says may become unsettled if he's not allowed to speak to Salzburg. The Salzburg bid was rejected, but by far the best bid was the Norwich one. Could we be able to get some money into the coffers here? That would be nice. We've also had, now I'm excited about this one, a bid for Nathan Redmond. However, I've just seen it's been rejected by Gary Megson. It was £21 million or £21.5 million for Redmond, but Gary has rejected it, which I'm a bit annoyed about. I'm not going to use him very much, Gary. Please sell him. Let's move through. We've also had some bids for some other players there, which are Smallbone and Chalker. I'm going to continue again. Let's see what happens if we go through another hour. We've had some stuff happen. There's been a bid for Ola Funwa, who's actually just joined Liverpool in real life after being released by Southampton. Nothing to do with the Redmond transfer there, though. And El Yunusi has rejected Norwich. That's not really what we need. There's 11 hours to go. I guess we just continue going through and see if anything else happens. Will any of those teams be back with another bid? Okay, we're actually down to the last 6 hours of our deadline day today, and we've made no sales, and we've also signed nobody. Gary is maybe sleeping. I'm not sure. He's definitely not doing very much, though. In fact, we've had a couple more bids for Nathan Redmond from Leicester again, but for less money than they originally offered, and Gary rejected that one. So he's been rejecting those ones as well. £17 million. So since El Yunusi rejected Norwich, doesn't look like that much is going to happen. Maybe, though, we're going to sign Peter Hood as an under-23s coach. So, actually, under-23 sports scientist. That's exciting, isn't it? He can go in with Terry Boyle. What an exciting transfer window we've had. Oh, okay. So very late into our deadline day then, with just 2 hours to go. There is a little bit of movement now, finally. And I'm not really sure we need this, but I guess maybe a bit of defensive cover for Romeo in that centre mid spot or DM spot. Gary Megson has made a move for Jean-Manuel Mbom from Werder Bremen. He is a Werder Bremen player who's been there his whole entire career. He's been out on loan to Erdogan, but for most of the time he's been here. He's 21 years old now. He's got under 21 caps for Germany, and Gary Megson's made a very late move for him by putting in a bid of £3.6 million. He's had 6 appearances and got 1 assist so far. It also says he could also provide cover for Kyle Walker-Peters at right back, which seems a bit weird, but there we go. In terms of outgoings, as we still tried to sell El Yunusi and Redmond, El Yunusi's now upset because Gary Megson keeps rejecting bids for him. He wants to leave, and I think the last bid was what? £6 million, which was less than before. Gary's rejecting these. It doesn't look like he's going to sell anybody, but he has now made a bid for Mbom, so there might be a little bit of business. Let's continue again, and they've accepted it. He's offered a contract for him. We've got 1 hour to go. Will we get this deal done before the window closes? Let's find out. It's still going through, I think. We've still got an hour to go. It hasn't closed yet. Will we get him done? He's been granted a work permit and he is in. So we have made a deadline day signing. It's another centre mid, really. Well, this one may be a little bit more of a DM. Let's have a look at his profile now. Do you know what? He looks like a very decent player. That actually looks like a really good bit of business. For £3.6 million, I think we've got ourselves a very, very nice bit of depth there, maybe. Instead of, I'm thinking really the best place for him is probably, let's just stick him in bomb for Romeo, maybe coming in here to cover here. We have got, I suppose, 4 centre mids playing in this system, so having lots of them is not a bad thing by any stretch. So do you know what? The business, it looks like it will be finished up there. The business looks like this. If I sort it by the date, we started with Sam Allardyce and it's going to finish with Mbom. So on top of what they did in real life at this stage, we've added these players to it. Big ones being 10 million on Doucouré, Boudaoui for 7.5, Kudus for 6.5, and then Mbom for 3.6. We've spent, what is that now? Like 25, 30 million on players there, just under. It's actual business that Gary has done there. He hasn't sold anybody either, but I guess, oh, we've actually had loan approaches. I assume this has been rejected. It's been accepted. Right, well, now we need Mbom because Gary Megson has accepted a loan bid for Oriol Romeo with about 45 minutes to go in our deadline day. Oriol Romeo is probably going to go to Milan on loan. What is going on? There's also a future fit. If they win Serie A, they buy him for 21 million. He's really good. He's actually very important for us. And apparently we're about to loan him out to Milan. Yeah, it's done. He's gone. Well, I guess it's a good job we signed Mbom, but that is a blow on deadline day. Gary, are you working for us or against us here? Well, that is a bit of drama towards the end of the window. We've got 45 minutes. Let's just go and see if anything else does happen. I don't expect it to. There we go. The deadline day has passed now, and our business is complete. I'm not sure I'm very happy with that. There is our business look. Kudus, Doucouré, Boudaoui, the main 3 there. Romeo out on loan, though. I guess, is that because of a wage budget thing? We've got wage budget left. That seems really bizarre, but we've brought in Mbom on deadline day. The team then, I guess it will be Mbom in there. It might look a little bit like this as we go through to the next episode where I'm going to go and play a whole load of games now up until the January window. I'm going to go and play from Arsenal up until Brentford here and join you for this Everton game, or on this Everton day here, the start of the January window, where we can look at how we've done and then go and see how we do in the January window. We're going to do this save where I do jump through big long periods of time like this and look back at the results, a little bit like we did the Plymouth save a while ago. I'm excited to go and play these games. I'm a little bit rocked by that Romeo exit, but let me know what you think of Gary's transfers in the comments down below. Of course, I will try and include some of your best comments in future videos too. If you've enjoyed today's video, you've got to the end of it, make sure you leave a like on it too, because it pushes it out into the algorithm. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I hope you have a lovely, lovely rest of your day. I'll catch you very soon. Bye bye.